The Awakening. The void between Jupiter and Saturn held many secrets, but none quite like this. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge of the UES Pathfinder, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing what her crew had dubbed the Anomaly. A ship, perfectly black, absorbing all light that touched its surface, drifted silently through space. It was massive, nearly 3 kilometers in length, and shaped like no vessel humanity had ever constructed. Sensor analysis complete, Captain. Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez reported from his station. The ship's hull is composed of an unknown alloy. No radiation signatures, no electromagnetic emissions. It's completely dark. Sarah nodded, her mind racing through protocols and possibilities. First contact procedures had been drilled into every deep space fleet captain, but this was different. This ship hadn't arrived. It had always been here, hidden in plain sight, until a routine gravitational survey had revealed its presence. "Dr. Evans, what's your assessment?" she asked, turning to the xenorchaeologist they'd brought aboard specifically for this mission. Diana Evans hadn't taken her eyes off the display since they'd first approached the vessel. "It's old, Captain. The surface degradation patterns suggest it's been here for at least 50,000 years. But look at the design. Those aren't just aesthetic choices. Every curve, every angle serves a purpose we just can't comprehend yet." The bridge crew fell silent as a new alert flashed across their screens. "Captain," Rodriguez called out, his voice tense, "we're detecting an energy signature. The ship, it's powering up." Sarah's fingers tightened on the railing. "All stations, yellow alert. Lieutenant Park, maintain our distance but keep us within communication range. Dr. Evans, I want your team ready for." Her orders were cut short as a beam of soft, blue light erupted from the black ship, scanning the Pathfinder from bow to stern. Before anyone could react, a voice filled the bridge, not through their communication systems, but seemingly directly in their minds. "Protocol. First Contact Initiative activated. Species assessment. Human. Technology level. Category 3. Initiating diplomatic interface." The voice was neither male nor female, neither young nor old. It spoke perfect English, yet Sarah somehow knew it could communicate in any language. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth ship Pathfinder. We come in peace and seek to establish diplomatic relations." There was a pause, and then the voice returned. "Greetings, Captain Chen. I am the Custodian, an artificial intelligence tasked with safeguarding the legacy of the Axari civilization. Your species has been watched since you first ventured beyond your atmosphere. You have now reached the designated threshold for contact." Sarah exchanged glances with her senior staff. This wasn't just first contact. This was a test, and humanity had apparently passed some cosmic examination they hadn't even known they were taking. "We're honored," Sarah replied carefully, "but I must ask, why now? Why here?" The Axari foresaw the rise of new spacefaring races. They left us, their ships, their knowledge, their technology, as guides for those who would follow. But such power cannot be given freely. It must be earned, understood, and respected. As the Custodian spoke, sections of the black ship began to illuminate, revealing intricate patterns that pulsed with inner light. "Your species has shown remarkable resilience, creativity, and determination. Despite your conflicts, despite your limitations, you have never stopped reaching for the stars." The Axari believe that such spirit deserves to be nurtured. Dr. Evans stepped forward, her professional composure barely containing her excitement. "The Axari, what happened to them?" "They ascended," the Custodian replied, "to a plane of existence beyond physical form. But they left behind everything they learned, everything they built, for species like yours to discover. Captain Chen, your ship and crew have been chosen as humanity's representatives. Will you accept this responsibility?" Sarah felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. This was more than a simple diplomatic mission now. This was humanity's invitation to join something greater than themselves. "We accept," she said firmly, knowing her words would echo through human history. "We're ready to learn." "Then prepare yourselves," the custodian announced as a section of the black ship's hull began to reshape itself, forming what appeared to be a docking port. The legacy of 1 billion years awaits. As her crew began preparations for docking, Sarah couldn't help but smile. Humanity had dreamed of this moment, of finding proof they weren't alone in the universe, of making contact with an advanced civilization. But none of their dreams had prepared them for this reality, that they hadn't found the aliens. The aliens had found them, tested them, and decided they were worthy. The real test, Sarah knew, was just beginning. Whatever knowledge the Axari had left behind, whatever power their technology represented, it would change everything. Humanity would never be the same after today. And as the Pathfinder slowly maneuvered toward the ancient vessel, Sarah Chen knew she was about to lead humanity through its greatest transformation since they first looked up at the stars and wondered what waited for them in the darkness between worlds. Hidden agenda. The docking procedure took 3 hours. Each movement was precisely calculated, every approach vector analyzed multiple times. Captain Chen watched as Lieutenant Park guided the Pathfinder with surgical precision toward the ancient vessel's newly formed docking port. "Matching rotation," Park announced, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. "Final approach vector locked. Contact in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A subtle vibration ran through the Pathfinder as the two ships connected. Green lights cascaded across the docking display, confirming a perfect seal. "Environmental analysis shows breathable atmosphere in the connection chamber," Rodriguez reported. "Temperature and pressure within human norms. No detected pathogens or harmful substances." Sarah nodded, but caution remained her watchword. "Dr. Evans, assemble your team. Lieutenant Commander Hayes, you'll lead the security detail. Full environmental suits until we're certain of conditions inside. I'll be joining you." Her first officer, Commander David Nash, stepped forward. "Captain, regulations state that the captain should remain with the ship during first contact situations," Sarah finished for him. "But this isn't a typical first contact, David. We're not just meeting aliens, we're stepping into history. I need to see this firsthand." The preparation took another hour. As Sarah sealed her helmet, she studied the team assembled in the airlock. Dr. Evans practically vibrated with excitement, while Hayes and his security team maintained professional composure. They were making history, but they were also venturing into unknown territory. "Remember," Sarah addressed the team, "we're not just representing the Pathfinder or the Deep Space Fleet. We're representing all of humanity. Whatever we find in there, whatever happens, we maintain protocol and discipline." The airlock cycled, and they crossed the short connection tube into the black ship. The interior was nothing like Sarah had expected. Instead of dark, oppressive corridors, they entered a vast chamber filled with softly pulsing light. The walls seemed to shift and flow like liquid metal, yet remained solid under their feet. "Incredible," Dr. Evans breathed, her sensors already gathering data. "The entire structure appears to be composed of programmable matter. Every surface can potentially reconfigure itself based on need or command." The custodian's voice returned, now seemingly emanating from the walls themselves. "You may remove your environmental protection. The atmosphere has been adjusted to your requirements." Sarah hesitated, then made a decision. She reached up and unsealed her helmet, taking a careful breath. The air was cool and clean, with a slight metallic tang. "All readings normal," Rodriguez confirmed through their comms. "Atmosphere is stable." As the team removed their helmets, the chamber began to transform. Walls flowed like mercury, forming what appeared to be a conference room, with seats sized perfectly for human occupants. A large holographic display materialized in the center. "Before we proceed," the custodian announced, "there is something you must understand about your selection. The Axari left many such vessels throughout the galaxy, each waiting for worthy species to discover them. You are not the first to reach this stage, but you are unique in ways that may prove crucial. The hologram activated, showing a map of the galaxy. Dozens of points of light marked what Sarah assumed were other black ships. Many were dark, but some glowed with various colors. 17 species have discovered our vessels in the last 10,000 years, the custodian continued. 12 have survived the knowledge they gained. 5 destroyed themselves, but none have faced the challenge that now approaches. The hologram shifted, showing what appeared to be a massive void spreading through space, consuming everything in its path. Stars winked out as it passed, leaving absolute darkness behind. We called them the Void Hunters, the custodian explained. They were ancient when the Axeri were young. They consume entire galaxies, breaking down matter and energy to their most basic components. They hibernate for millions of years between feeding cycles, and they are awakening. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. How long? At current projections, they will reach this galaxy in approximately 50 years. The Axeri left their legacy not just to uplift worthy species, but to prepare them for this threat. Humanity's remarkable ability to adapt, to think creatively in crisis, may be essential for survival. Dr. Evans stepped forward, her scientific curiosity warring with obvious concern. Why didn't the Axeri stop them before ascending? They tried. For 10,000 years, they fought the Void Hunters to a stalemate. But they could not achieve victory, only delay. In their ascension, they gained great knowledge, but lost the ability to directly intervene in physical space. That is why they prepared these vessels, this legacy, for species like yours. Sarah looked around at her team, seeing the weight of this revelation in their expressions. They had come seeking knowledge, perhaps power. Instead, they had found a responsibility greater than anything humanity had ever faced. You said other species have discovered these ships, Sarah noted. Are they fighting these Void Hunters too? Some prepare. Others deny the threat. A few have already begun to war among themselves, hoping to gather resources and power before the darkness arrives. The custodian's tone carried a note of sadness. This is why you were chosen, Captain Chen. Humanity's greatest strength is not your technology or your intelligence, but your ability to unite in the face of overwhelming odds. You will need this quality more than ever. The hologram changed again, showing complex technological schematics. What I am about to share with you must be used wisely. The Axeri left weapons, shields, and engines beyond your current understanding. But more importantly, they left their knowledge of the Void Hunters' weaknesses. How you use this information may determine the fate of not just humanity, but all life in this galaxy. Sarah straightened her shoulders, feeling the weight of command more heavily than ever before. We'll need to contact Earth, bring in experts from every field, if we only have 50 years to prepare. You have less time than that. The custodian interrupted. The knowledge I share will draw attention. Other species will sense the activation of this vessel. Some will seek alliance. Others will attempt to seize what you have learned. You must be prepared for both diplomacy and defense. Then we'd better get started, Sarah said firmly. Humanity's been waiting for a moment like this. A chance to prove ourselves on a cosmic scale. We won't waste it. The walls of the chamber began to glow brighter, and new holographic displays appeared, filled with information that would change the course of human history. As her team spread out to begin their work, Sarah Chen realized that this was more than a first contact or a discovery of ancient technology. This was humanity's invitation to join a war for survival that had been raging since before Earth formed. And they had 50 years to prepare for the greatest challenge their species had ever faced. Breaking point. The next 48 hours aboard the Pathfinder were a blur of activity. Captain Chen had maintained communications blackout with Earth, buying time to understand their situation before news of the discovery sparked global panic. But as she stood in the black ship's central chamber, watching Dr. Evans and her team work with the custodian's interfaces, she knew their window of secrecy was closing. Captain, Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice came through her comm. We're detecting multiple gravitational distortions forming at the edge of the solar system. Signs consistent with FTL emergence. Sarah's jaw tightened. The custodian had warned them others would come, but not this quickly. How many? 7 distinct signatures. Energy readings suggest advanced propulsion systems, far beyond our current technology. They are the collective, the custodian announced, its voice carrying a new tone of concern. A coalition of species who discovered their own legacy ships. They believe themselves the rightful inheritors of Axari knowledge. Sarah watched as new holographic displays materialized, showing the approaching vessels. Their designs were as alien as the black ship, but where it absorbed light, these ships seemed to bend it, creating distortions that made them difficult to focus on. Are they hostile? Sarah asked, already knowing the answer wouldn't be simple. They are. Political, the custodian replied. The collective believes in controlled distribution of Axari technology, ensuring no single species gains too much power too quickly. They will offer humanity membership, but at a price. Dr. Evans looked up from her workstation, her face pale. The data we've already accessed. The Axari left warnings about the collective. They're using the technology to maintain control, not to prepare for the Void Hunters. Before Sarah could respond, Commander Nash's voice cut through the comm. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the lead vessel. They're requesting immediate communication. Sarah straightened her uniform. Put them through to the black ship's chamber. The air shimmered, and a holographic figure appeared. The alien stood nearly 3 meters tall, its body covered in iridescent scales that shifted colors as it moved. Multiple sets of eyes studied Sarah and her team. I am Overseer Zixtal of the Galactic Collective. It announced in perfect English. We have come to welcome humanity to a greater universe, and to ensure proper protocols are followed regarding Axari technology transfer. Sarah stepped forward, her posture confident despite the size difference. I am Captain Sarah Chen of the UES Pathfinder. We appreciate your welcome, but this ship activated specifically for humanity. Its knowledge was given to us freely. The Overseer's scales rippled with dark colors. Captain Chen, you cannot comprehend the dangers of unrestricted access to Axari technology. The collective exists to prevent catastrophic misuse. We have seen worlds burn and civilizations collapse from acquiring too much knowledge too quickly. You mean you've seen potential rivals eliminated? Dr. Evans interjected, holding up a data tablet. The Axari logs show how the collective has systematically suppressed any species that wouldn't submit to their authority. Zixtal's expression remained unreadable, but its scales now pulsed with angry reds. The human tendency to question authority is well documented. It is precisely why controls must be established. You will submit your vessel to collective oversight, or we will be forced to take action. Sarah felt a familiar calm settle over her, the same feeling she got before any crucial decision. Overseer, humanity has just learned we have less than 50 years before the Void Hunters reach our galaxy. We don't have time for politics or power plays. The Void Hunters are a concern, yes, Zixtal conceded, but order must be maintained. The collective has prepared for their arrival for centuries. Join us, accept our guidance, and benefit from our experience. And if we refuse, the alien scales turned a deep, threatening purple. Then we will be forced to quarantine your system and remove this legacy ship to prevent unauthorized technology transfer. The choice, Captain Chen, is yours. Sarah glanced at the custodian's interface, noting how the ship's energy signatures had subtly changed during the conversation. She thought about Earth, about humanity's long history of facing seemingly insurmountable odds. They had not come this far to submit to another empire's control. Overseer, she said carefully, humanity has its own history of dealing with those who demand submission in exchange for protection. It rarely ends well for either side. Instead, I propose collaboration. The Void Hunters threaten all of us. Together, as equals, we might. Enough. Zixtal's form grew larger, looming over them. You have one planetary rotation to surrender control of this vessel, or we will take action. The collective will not allow. The hologram suddenly flickered as new alarms blared through both ships. Sarah watched as terror replaced anger in the Overseer's multiple eyes. Impossible, Zixtal whispered. They cannot be here. Not yet. The custodian's voice carried an urgency Sarah hadn't heard before. Alert. Void Hunter scout vessel detected entering the solar system. Estimated arrival. 6 hours. The timeline has accelerated. They sensed the activation of multiple legacy ships in close proximity. Sarah looked from a horrified overseer to her equally shocked crew. Then to the tactical displays showing a patch of absolute darkness spreading across the solar system's edge. In that moment, she made a decision that would echo through human history. Overseer, she said firmly, we can discuss politics after we deal with this threat. Right now, you have a choice. Work with us as equals, or watch everything you've built crumble in the face of an enemy that doesn't care about your collective's authority. The alien ruler's scales shifted through a complex pattern of colors before settling on a deep blue. You are either very wise or very foolish, Captain Chen. Perhaps both. We will coordinate our defenses, but this discussion is not over. As the hologram faded, Sarah turned to her crew. Dr. Evans, how much of the Axari weapons technology have you decoded? Maybe 15%. The scientist replied. But what we have? Captain, it's incredible. If we can implement even a fraction of it, then we'll have to make it count, Sarah interrupted. Because humanity's first real test isn't going to come in 50 years. It's coming in 6 hours. The black ship's chambers hummed with increasing power as both human and alien crews prepared for humanity's first encounter with the Void Hunters. Contact in 10 minutes, Rodriguez reported from his interface pod. The 5 humans were now connected to the legacy ship through a web of glowing neural links, their minds gradually synchronizing with the ancient vessel's systems. Sarah felt the connection deepening. It was like nothing she had ever experienced. Her consciousness expanded, intertwined with her crew's, all of them becoming part of something vast and powerful. Through the ship's sensors, she could feel the approaching void, the utter wrongness of it. 8 minutes to contact. Nash's voice echoed both through the comms and through their shared mental space. The entropy field is already affecting the outer system's quantum structure. Sarah focused, helping coordinate the vast amount of information flowing through their linked minds. The legacy ship responded to their thoughts, its entire structure humming with power. Collective ships, maintain your positions. When we establish the disruption field, target these coordinates with everything you have. Through their enhanced perception, Sarah could see the Void Hunter scout ship clearly now. It was darkness given form, a tear in reality that consumed light itself. Ancient and patient, and utterly alien, it approached with the confidence of a predator that had never known defeat. 5 minutes, Park announced. Neural synchronization at 87%. Sarah felt sweat beading on her forehead as she helped maintain the delicate mental balance. One slip, one moment of discord, and the entire defense could collapse. Dr. Evans, how are the quantum field calculations progressing? Almost there, Evans replied, her mental voice strained but determined. The legacy ship is helping translate our intentions into executable commands. 3 minutes to optimal position. The void grew larger, beginning to dominate their enhanced view of space. Sarah could feel its pull, the entropy field trying to unravel the very fabric of reality around them. The collective shift shields were already starting to deteriorate. 2 minutes, Rodriguez called out. Neural synchronization at 93%. Sarah took a deep breath, feeling her crew do the same through their shared connection. On my mark, everyone focus on the same point. Imagine a wall of pure order, of reality asserting itself. The ship will translate our intent into quantum effects. 1 minute, Nash reported. Void Hunter is adjusting course. It senses our defense. The darkness reached out with tendrils of pure entropy, testing their position. Sarah felt the legacy ship responding to their combined will, ancient systems awakening fully for the first time in millennia. 30 seconds. Mark. 5 human minds thought as one, their consciousness amplified by Axari technology. The legacy ship pulsed with impossible energies as it translated human thought into quantum effects. Space itself seemed to twist and fold. The Void Hunter Scout struck their quantum barrier like a wave hitting a seawall. Reality shuddered as entropy met order, chaos faced structure. Through their linked minds, Sarah felt the strain of holding back and force of nature. Collective ships, fire now. Energy beams from 7 advanced vessels converged on the coordinates Sarah had specified, not at the Void Hunter itself, but at the point where their quantum barrier met its entropy field. The result defied physics as humanity understood it. The entropy field collapsed in on itself, its coherence disrupted by the combined effect of human-guided quantum manipulation and collective weapons. The Void Hunter Scout, for the first time in its ancient existence, found itself unable to consume what lay before it. "It's working," Evans exclaimed. "The entropy field is destabilizing." Sarah pushed harder, feeling her crew do the same. Blood trickled from her nose as the mental strain increased. Collective ships, adjust fire to these new coordinates. Hit it while it's vulnerable. The void writhed, trying to adapt to this new form of attack. But the combined human consciousness controlling the legacy ship adapted faster, adjusting the quantum barrier moment by moment. The Void Hunter Scout, faced with prey that could not only resist but fight back, began to retreat. "Do not let it escape." Zixtal's voice cut through their concentration. "If it returns to the others." "No," Sarah managed through gritted teeth. "Let it go. Let it take a message back to the others." The void pulled back, its entropy field collapsing further as it abandoned its attack. Within moments, it had vanished back into the darkness between stars, leaving behind a valuable lesson. Humanity was not prey. As the neural connection gradually dissolved, Sarah felt consciousness returning to normal scale. She was exhausted, drained in body and mind, but triumphant. Looking around at her equally exhausted crew, she managed to smile. "Well done, everyone," she said softly. "We just changed the rules of a game that's been played for millions of years." The custodian's voice held something new, respect, perhaps even hope. The Axari believed humanity's greatest strength was not technology or knowledge, but adaptation and unity. Today, you proved them right. On the main display, Overseer Zixtal's hologram appeared. The alien scales had shifted to colors Sarah hadn't seen before. Perhaps, it said carefully, the collective's approach to preparing for the Void Hunter's needs. Revision. "Captain Chen, your species has much to teach us." Sarah nodded, already thinking about the challenges ahead. They had won their first battle against the darkness, but the war was just beginning. Yet for the first time since learning of the threat, she felt real hope. Humanity had proven they could face the impossible and find a way forward. The legacy ship hummed with renewed energy, ready to help prepare humanity for what was coming. They had 50 years until the main Void Hunter force arrived, and Sarah Chen intended to make every moment count. Legacy. 1 month after humanity's first encounter with the Void Hunters, the view from the Pathfinder's observation deck had changed dramatically. Where once there had been empty space between Jupiter and Saturn, now a sprawling installation spread across thousands of kilometers. The legacy ship formed its heart, but around it grew a complex web of human and collective technology. Sarah Chen stood at the window, watching construction drones weave new structures into existence. The neural interface that had helped them defeat the Void Hunter Scout had left its mark. A streak of white now ran through her dark hair, and occasional headaches reminded her of the strain they'd endured. But the changes went far deeper than physical marks. "The latest test results are incredible," Dr. Evans announced as she entered the observation deck. The scientist looked tired but excited, her tablet displaying complex quantum calculations. The neural synchronization technique we developed is revolutionizing how we interface with Axeri technology. The collective's engineers can hardly believe the efficiency improvements. And the side effects? Sarah asked, turning from the window. Diminishing with each iteration. The human brain is remarkably adaptable. We're learning to handle the neural load more efficiently. The next generation of interface chambers should be much safer. Sarah nodded, relief visible in her expression. The victory over the Void Hunter Scout had come at a cost. All 5 of them, who had linked with the legacy ship, still experienced occasional psychic echoes, moments when their thoughts seemed to blur together. But humanity had gained something priceless in exchange: respect. Captain, Lieutenant Rodriguez called over the comm. The Earth Defense Council is ready for your report. Thank you, Lieutenant. Dr. Evans, would you join me? They'll want to hear your latest findings as well. They made their way to the newly constructed conference chamber, where representatives from Earth's united governments waited via holographic projection. Alongside them appeared Overseer Zixtal and other members of the collective leadership. Captain Chen, Admiral Torres began, your monthly progress report, please. Sarah stood straight, her posture confident. The Joint Human Collective Defense installation is proceeding ahead of schedule. Dr. Evans's breakthroughs with neural interface technology have accelerated our understanding of Axeri systems by years, possibly decades. The collective's engineering expertise, combined with human innovation, has produced results that exceed all projections. And the threat assessment. This from the Chinese premier, her hologram flickering slightly. The Void Hunter Scout's retreat bought us time, but also confirmed our worst fears. The main force is coming, and our victory may have accelerated their timeline. However, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. We're not sitting idle. Dr. Evans stepped forward, bringing up a complex holographic display. The quantum barrier technique we developed has been refined and improved. The collected scientists have helped us understand why human neural patterns are so effective at manipulating Axeri technology. It's our capacity for abstract thought, our ability to imagine possibilities beyond pure logic. Which brings us to our proposal, Sarah continued. We need to expand this program. The installation here is just the beginning. We need similar facilities throughout the solar system, throughout human space. More importantly, we need to establish joint training facilities with the collective. Overseer Zixtal's scales rippled with thoughtful colors. The collective agrees. Our previous policy of restricted technology sharing was short-sighted. The Void Hunters cannot be defeated by any one species or approach. We need humanity's creativity, your unique ways of thinking, just as you need our experience and technical knowledge. The Earth Defense Council members exchanged glances. The resources required would be enormous, the European Union representative pointed out. The cost of failure would be higher, Sarah countered. The Void Hunters don't just destroy worlds, they unmake reality itself. We've proven we can fight them, but only together. Admiral Torres leaned forward. You have something specific in mind, Captain. A new organization, Sarah replied, not under Earth's control or the collective's authority, but a true partnership. The legacy ship showed us what's possible when we combine human intuition with advanced technology. Now we need to scale that up, train more crews, develop new strategies. The Axeri left their legacy to prepare us for this moment. Dr. Evans added, not just humans, not just the collective species, but all of us. They knew it would take different perspectives, different approaches, to have any hope against the Void Hunters. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Sarah looked around at the assembled leaders, human and alien, military and civilian. The divisions that had seemed so important a month ago now felt trivial in the face of what was coming. We have 49 years, she said quietly. 49 years to prepare for an enemy that has consumed entire galaxies. But we have advantages no one else has had. Axeri technology, collective experience, and human determination. We can win this, But only if we start now. The silence stretched for another moment before Admiral Torres spoke. The Defense Council will support your proposal, Captain Chen. The resources you need will be provided. The collective concurs, Zixtal announced. We will begin immediately. As the meeting concluded and the holograms faded, Sarah returned to the observation deck. The installation, soon to become the first of many joint defense centers, continued to grow against the backdrop of space. Construction drones wove new structures into existence as ships from Earth and the collective arrived with personnel and materials. Quite a view, Commander Nash said as he joined her. Like Sarah, he bore the marks of their neural link battle. Temples prematurely gray, eyes that sometimes seemed to see beyond normal space. Hard to believe it's only been a month. Everything's changed, Sarah agreed. A month ago, humanity was alone in the universe. Now we're helping lead the defense of the galaxy. She paused, watching a group of human engineers working alongside alien counterparts, testing new hybrid technologies. Do you think we're ready for this responsibility? Nash smiled. I think that's why the Axari chose us. Not because we're ready, but because we'll rise to the challenge. It's what humans do. Sarah nodded, feeling the legacy ship's presence at the edge of her consciousness. The ancient vessel had chosen humanity for a reason, and they would prove worthy of that choice. The Void Hunters were coming, but they would find something they'd never encountered before. A galaxy united, led by species who refused to submit to the darkness. As she watched Earth rise over Jupiter's horizon, Sarah Chen allowed herself to feel real hope for the future. The greatest war in human history was coming, but for the first time in millions of years, the Void Hunters would face an enemy ready to fight back. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not just as survivors, but as leaders in a battle for existence itself. The legacy ship pulsed with energy, ready to help prepare the next generation of defenders. The darkness between galaxies was vast, but humanity's light would be ready when it came.